Oh, yeah.
How about that? That's some good music right there. That's a little better this week.
I didn't know where we were going with that music.
I didn't
I'm like,
Only thing I could picture was some Richard Simmons shorts.
that's exactly
I
what
think I just threw it on my back.
Gentlemen, how are y'all doing tonight?
Doing all right.
We can keep it going. All right. Hey, really, this is our first big show. Right? We who's got? I got y'all got that background noise coming in.
Yeah, if you're watching the show, you got to
Whoa.
mute it.
Yeah,
You got to mute it if you're watching
mute
the
it.
show.
Got to mute it. Make sure you mute your phone. First time going through it. We're good. All right.
Okay.
Hey, this is our first real big show. All right. So what we're going to do is just to start off before we get to the big topic, we'll go around the room and everybody will introduce themselves real quick. We'll start with you, Anthony.
Oh, hey, how you doing? Name's Anthony. 3 kids, 21, 19, 11. Small business owner and a budding entrepreneur. Hokey for life. I know that's not probably popular here, but that's all right. I'm just excited to be here tonight. Let's go.
I love it. I love it. Devon.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Thanks for jumping on. My name is Devon Carson. I hail from the big metropolitan city of Burlington, North Carolina. I am so glad and so excited to be here. We are all united to talk about professional dads and what that means and how we can live life better together. And so with that being said, we hope to learn from each and every one, and all comments are valued and appreciated. I have 3 kids. I have one that's 21. I have another one who's 18. Both of them attend the greatest university on this planet, the University of North Carolina.
The Ohio
Go
State.
Heels. Yes, sir.
Are
And
you?
then I have a 5th grader who goes to Smith Elementary School, and she is rocking and rolling. She's a princess of the castle. So, Devon Carson, I look forward to talking to you.
Yeah, running the show. Running the show. Eric.
What's up, gentlemen? Eric Hardhill from the NC, North Carolina made. I am here in Summerfield, North Carolina. By day, I'm a financial advisor with Northwestern Mutual. At night, I'm just a sinner saved by grace. Married to Erin, 16 years, 2 kids, 2 great boys, Ethan and Evan. And we're super excited to rep the Hart clan. Really excited about being a part of this podcast. I don't know why they have me on here, but we're going to figure it out together. Representing your next national champions, University of Georgia Bulldogs. Can't wait till the playoffs get started this year. So,
why you put him before me?
hey, good luck this weekend. We're going to sit and wait another weekend. But no, I'm really excited about just offering a couple of wisdom nuggets, things that I've figured on my journey through life, and sharing it with these 6 guys, and we'll see what happens.
I love it. I love it. Josh.
Ooh, I missed that. I missed y'all last week. So yes, I am. Let's see. My given name, Josh Griffith. Those of you that are joining me on social media might know it from the Josh Griffith, not to be confused with probably the next national champion, the Ohio State University. Sorry, Eric. That's just what we do, baby. So I know. I know. Oh, see, this is gonna be a good show. Yeah, man, I'm looking forward to this, man. Those of you that jumped on, you guys know, but taking a nice little social media break, very good for my mental health. But when Matt called, Eric called, Devo and I jumped on and was like, hey, this is what we want to do. Obviously, I'm a professional by day, entrepreneur, insurance agent, 13 years. I'm a dad, social media, all that good stuff. But yeah, the dad life of me is I have a 19-year-old daughter, freshman in college, and I have a freshman in high school, a son who's an athlete in the middle of basketball season right now, which is very, very cool. So he plays soccer, which I cannot help him with. Basketball I played, I can sit up and coach and ref and dad and play and all that stuff and get frustrated with the coach. Not that anybody's been there on this call or listening, but I do. So very much looking forward to hanging out with you guys. And I think you said it a little bit last week, Devo or Eric, of I get a little bit longer tonight because I missed last week. So you guys said it last week.
He don't know what 30 seconds means.
I know.
Yeah.
I'll leave it at this. Listen, I'll be like the great Jimmy Valvano. You got 2 minutes on that clock. Do you think that matters to me right now? But I think you really jump on and get a sense of how you can click with people. And I think when Matt and Eric and Devo and I got on the call and on the thing, it was like, man, let's go. This is amazing. Clicked a whole lot with dad life, sports life, kids, like all that stuff. So I'm excited to be here, drop the knowledge that I have about being a dad, the knowledge that I probably wish I would have had, and all hopes to obviously help people. So thanks for being here. And I'm in Charlottesville, Virginia. Wahoo wah. Sorry. But
No.
we are getting ready to lose right now to Memphis. So it's all good.
M-Town, baby.
That's right.
Doc.
I like pie. I have 2 kids that I know of. That's why I move every 3 years. Change my last name every 5. I'm currently in St. Louis. Oh, we got to move now. Sorry. Honey, start packing.
Somebody's in the chat that Doc doesn't know. Looks a little suspicious.
Hey, I got to go. Anyway, no, I'm in St. Louis. I'm retired military, spent 32 years in our wonderful greatest Navy on the planet, and suffering for it because I hung around too long with people like Matt, them jarhead types. So I have developed a wonderful taste for crayons. I don't know where that came from.
Yeah,
but
cherry red.
Which one's your favorite? Like, can I interrupt and ask what kind is which one's your favorite?
I like to get the small pack, the 12, the 12 crayons, and then I just eat them all at once. It's kind of like fruit punch.
Yeah, that's right.
Roy G. Biv, baby. This.
Anyway, this is going to be a great podcast. Not this episode. I mean, in general, this is going to be so much fun. Yeah. Looking so forward to it.
Yeah, love it. All right. Hey, my name is Matthew Curran. I am from Raleigh, North Carolina. I've been married to my wife, Tisha, for coming up on 30 years in May. Been with her for 33. Have 3 kids, 27-year-old son, Braden. He works for Milwaukee Tools. 24-year-old Megan will be 25 here next week on the 28th. So she's in medical school at Georgetown. Just finished her last exam today, which is good, 2nd year. And then I have my daughter, Lainey, who is a junior at the UNC Chapel Hill. Let's go, Devo. Let's go. And that's where Megan graduated from, too. And I am a Tar Heel. So retired Marine pilot, flew helicopters, flew the V-22 Osprey, flew air medical for Wake Forest Baptist and all over the country. And then now I fly for Team Penske NASCAR and Indy, fly a helicopter and 2 jets. But I say all that's my side gig. So this is what I love. This is what it's all about. It's about getting with people, you 5 great men, and really cutting it up and talking about how, we can bring together a group of men, a group of fathers, and provide maybe some fun, but maybe a bit of support for all our fellow men out there. That's what we really want to do. We really want to grow this, because when we really first started talking about this, we really figured out that we all need each other, right? It's something that we need as men. A lot of times we're individuals. We don't think we need it, but we really do. And that's what we're here for and all that. So we're going to kick it off. We go in multiple segments. So Doc back there runs our segments for us. And we're going to start off with our first segment here. And basically we're going to really get into it. And the big question of this is, why do we need a community of men? Why do we need a community of fathers? And I want to, and specifically fathers, we're the Professional Dad Podcast, but I want to start with this. I'm going to start with a little fact for y'all. The prevalence of a father being absent. All right. Approximately 18.3 million children in the United States live without a biological step or adoptive father in the home. That accounts for 1 in every 4 kids in the United States right now. So we really want to talk about, how we can, be present fathers, So who wants to take it away? Why do we need to build this community? Why do we need to bring men together? Take it up. Who's got it?
Ooh.
Devo. I'm gonna call on you.
I won't let him
Yeah.
shotgun you like that, man. That's messed up. I'll take it because Matt, man, that's as wrong as
You jump in there like we're all sitting here hanging out. Like who wants to
I know.
take
Right?
this one? We're all like, all right. Devo, you look like you're not paying attention to it. You look like we're all paying attention.
Hey,
I'm
look,
like a school teacher up here.
look,
He
man.
tried to call a brother out.
Yeah.
No, thank you. I like that fact that you just spewed out. 25%, 1 out of every 4. That's sobering, to say the least. And I think that speaks to the volume of why this podcast is so important. Like, first and foremost, we're not perfect. Like, I just want to drop that myth right off the bat. Like, we don't have it. You know what I'm saying? But we get better when we form ourselves with a community. And I think that's the premise of this organization. That's the premise of this group. That's the premise of you setting aside an hour that you have each week to kind of come together to collaborate, just to bounce ideas off of one another. I think that is so essential. Dads are expected to do a whole lot. I think about it all the time. We're supposed to go out and kill the cow, and we're supposed to drag it back in and bring it to the table, cook it, over some hot coals, and then slice it up even. And so with that, and
clean up.
Yeah. Oh, we got to do the dishes too.
Yeah, we got to clean up too.
That's overwhelming, folks, and that's where we are. Being a dad is just not easy. I got 3 kids. I've shared with you guys before. My middle child, who is just like me, like she give me the business all the time, and so we are. And what I was thinking about this too is because I've been having conversations with this one organization, and we're always on. We're on 24/7. We never get a break. We never get an opportunity to kind of sit back. It's kind of like when you go home with the child, like there's no manual. There's nobody the nurse not coming home with you. At least I hope she ain't. Everybody set up.
Yeah. It's a different kind of hospital.
Different show.
And not for nothing, I'm a nurse. I'll come home with you.
Well, I'm glad I ain't having no more kids. If that's the offer that I got from you, Doc, I don't want you to come home with me.
So I think
don't
it's
even know what
just
to say
so
to that.
important to surround yourself. And a part where I fell down is as far as me being a dad. By trade, I'm an educator. I've been an educator for 23 years, and the last several years of my professional life had an opportunity to be a principal. Only problem was I thought I was still a principal here at the house. And my wife, who's a teacher, she quickly told me, "You don't evaluate me. So whatever you got to say, you can just flush that." And so we have to humble ourselves and make sure that we put ourselves in position where we can listen, we can hear, we can be responsive to their needs, and we can relate. Even if we don't understand, we still have to be able to relate and understand our children, our wives' perspective, and I think that's part of a foundational necessity that I often didn't grasp. Hopefully, I do a little bit better job of it now, but that's still a feature that we are working on here at the Carson household.
Next up.
Well, here I'll go because I think like if I have an issue with being a dad, if I have an issue with anything, I'm not gonna lie. Y'all know who I'm calling. Like Matt, like let's go, bro. But I think it's difficult to whether you're a relationship, single dad, relationship, single mom, whatever. It's very difficult to call. You call a man that's gets you and you get him. Like I can call Matt. I'm like, dude, I failed today. I know in a good community of men, if I have the right men around me, he's not going to judge me and be like, man, you're a horrible dad. I lost your friend. I lost you. And maybe we have that fear. I've had that fear to come home to a spouse or go to the kid's mom or go to a woman and go, hey, I messed up with this. Maybe it's, hey, I'm going to be judged for, oh, man, you can't do anything right. Because that's just how we feel. We're not, telling feelings or giving opinions or giving all those things. I think a men's group is like, hey, you're not going to judge me regardless because we're boys. And if you, and I'm going to listen to you because if I say something to Matt about, hey, I did this with my son today, or I said this, Matt's going to be like, bro, are you serious right now? You should have said it like this, this, and this. But if I say that to, let's say if am I married, say it to my spouse, this is what happened. It's like, you're insensitive. You're this, that. We take it differently from women than we take from a man. Mm-hmm. That's my perspective on that. So I could, I call Matt for everything, but if I'm calling about being a dad, I know I could probably call Doc. I know I could send something in our group chat and be like, fellas, what the heck did I just do? And whether I agree with it or not, I know where it's coming from. And I think that's the huge part of the support from men, is that we know where it's coming from. We're all on that struggle as a dad. We're all on that struggle as a man. And if I'm getting advice from you, emotional, non-emotional, whatever, I know where it's coming from, and you're looking out for the best of me. And we've been there before.
Well, you said it right there. We've been there before. We bring it from experience, right? Mm-hmm. And maybe I did it right, maybe I did it wrong, but I'm giving you something where I say, oh man, I did that before. It didn't work out good with Braden. Maybe you need to do this with your son. Yep. All right, who's next?
Yeah, well, I think. Go ahead, Eric. No. You got it, brother.
All right. Well, I'll go back to June 14, 2008, one of the best days of my life. And that's when I got married. And I reflect on the question of why a community of fathers. Well, I go back to a community of brothers first. Devon was one of 7 guys that I asked to stand there with me and be there to make sure I jumped over that broom. And so it's making sure that come on now. I already give you that as far as the compliments go. I'm about to walk
and he's done for the night.
Yeah, I'm about to walk it back here. I was setting him in. He's already trashing. But anyway, but I reflect on each guy meant something different to me at some point in my life that was the reason why, we asked them, hey, this is an important day for me. Make sure I do the right thing. And so they were there for me then. And then we live our lives. We may be still connected by phone calls and occasional text messages. We don't really spend as much time as we used to, but that's life. That's what happens. But I reflect on different things that have happened over time that has caused for us to stay connected, whether, hey, it's a birthday or children graduating, things of that nature, or is it just, I miss you, I was thinking about you. And so even thinking about this group here and how we kind of came together, it's something that we need. We need to be talking to one another because, back then it was marriage and it was getting me over that hump and make sure I jump the broom. Now it's like, it's children and, taking pieces of things that you've done at different stages, because some of the kids are adults and I'm working with younger kids. I'm a caboose in terms of father. I'm trying to father things that you have already done. And so it's different inflection points in your life where you need another perspective. And it's good to build on the perspective of the people who have done it, good or bad or indifferent. And so I think that us coming together, creating this space to be able to talk. I know we're going to laugh. We may have some sessions we disagree with one another, but it's good to have it. And it's certainly good to see that it expands beyond just here with others that are watching, because maybe there's a wisdom nugget that the group will share that's like, I hadn't thought about that. And that came from Vegas, or that came from Montana, so this is the thing when you get men and even women together and begin to talk about it from a perspective of dad or perspective of child. My bad. Sorry about that. It's important to have fresh perspectives and new ideas to do it, because I don't have the lock on everything. I don't have it all figured out. So,
right. Absolutely. I couldn't agree more.
Before the next one, like, women go to the bathroom together, right? Like, that's their thing. Like, girl, we about to go. Like, you want to go? Yeah, we all going. Why don't we do something like that? Like, I know we don't go to the bathroom together.
Hey,
I can tell you why.
No, but I'm saying, like,
there's all kind of watch you wear.
Listen,
But if you give me a pair of Jordans,
no, like, why don't we have a thing? We need a thing. Because you said, Eric, you said it.
Wait a minute. You're talking about going to the bathroom and saying you need a thing. I'm not down with this conversation.
No,
I don't judge, but it ain't my thing, if you know what I'm saying.
No, women have their thing where they go to the bathroom and they're like, oh, Eric's wife may go with Devo's wife. Like, look what they doing. They got on, he did this, that, all those things. We need a thing. I'm not saying Doc, you just took it to another level that we didn't need right now.
You're
Lost my
welcome.
train of thought.
Anthony, what do you got to say?
Yeah, help me out, bro.
Yeah, let me bring it back down.
Thank you.
So picking back off of what Josh said, like one of the things that we struggle with is isolation and thinking we're the only one going through this issue. And that's just further from the truth, right? And but that's what we fall into. And so like having a community of men who say, man, like you said it, like I've walked through that and I made it through that. And so let's walk through that together is just super key. Because one of the biggest struggles, I think Devon said it before, is we struggle with shame of failure, shame of I messed up, can I get this back, and so on and so forth. But when you walk with men, it just hits differently. To Josh's point, it just does, and I think it's just so pivotal and key to reverse that trend of fatherlessness, right? And empowering men and young men to step into the lives of people, namely kids who need that sense of leadership and direction.
Yeah, absolutely. If we can provide that for somebody out there, each and every show, just one person, we're hitting the mark, right? That's what really correct.
Yeah.
Doc, what you got?
Well, here's the deal, and Josh kind of stole some of the thunder earlier where I was going to go, but talking about going to the bathroom, they have their thing, exactly what he was saying, and we as men, we're pretty bad at letting that ego get in the way. It's hard to put that wall down, and that's why it's so important you find that good group of individuals that they're not going to judge you. They'll calibrate you when you need it.
Sure.
And
huge difference.
Yeah,
in those two words.
huge, but they don't judge. And lastly, what I'm hoping that we get across throughout this whole podcast is, it was mentioned earlier, I don't remember who said it, but we might not, I think Eric, you said it, we might not always disagree. And I'm actually, don't take this the wrong way, but I'm really looking forward to one of those sessions where we don't, because we have a golden opportunity to show the world that just because we don't disagree doesn't mean we still don't care about each other and that we don't have each other's backs.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm going to give you a real life scenario that I always say this, but I'm going to give you a real scenario when it happened. And I hope Eric doesn't mind that I use him as the example. But I always say that, what we're doing here is we're convening, right? We're bringing people together. And so where's one of the places that men love to convene? At the table, right? So, we like to eat. Yeah, let's be honest. So me and Devo and Eric were at the Mellow Mushroom a couple of weeks ago. Simple conversation where my friend Eric, what I figured out is I'm all about a family memory, right? I'm all about a family memory, making memories for my family. And he was explaining, Devo same way. And you were talking about putting together a trip for your family. But you sat at the table, and it's like sitting around the table, and that's what this call is, right? That's what we're on here. It's like sitting around the table, at the Mellow Mushroom and going, hey, guys, if you were in this situation, how would you handle it? And we're all going to come at it from our life experience. We're all going to come at it from the things that we do. And so you were talking about taking your family on a trip, and me and Devo jumped in and gave you our 2 cents on it, because we're both about making memories and all that, making memories for our family and all that. So that's pretty cool. And you took it on board, and we talked about it. And I think that's what we can do for each other. Yeah, we're talking about a thing of like a trip, and you'll probably talk about that trip at some point. It's pretty cool. Actually, Braden's at Disney today, my son. And actually, problem with that is they were doing business going around Epcot, and he said, I'll send y'all pictures and check in with y'all through the day. We haven't heard from him since.
He just, Dad, I got you. He ain't got you.
He's enjoying the park. He's enjoying the park, So, but the point is we're here for each other. And we can sit there and say, hey, if you are in this situation, whether that be with your kids, whether that be about a trip, whether that be with, your marriage and your relationship, it doesn't matter. We need each other to lean on. And that's what hopefully we're going to create. I know we're going to create it, and it's going to go well outside of this 6. That's the key. We're going to bring other people on. Sometimes we're not going to be able to be here. We can bring other guests on. We're going to bring other experts on. The whole point is that we're going to create an environment, and we want everybody to join us. We want everybody to be a part of it. Those comments are great on the side because we can address them throughout the show. So always ask questions, make comments, and all that. But that's what I'm talking about. That's what this is, and that's why it's so important to really grow a community.
Yeah.
So I think fathers.
Yeah, Eric, and I'll think Eric said it. He's like catching up. Like, I miss you, love you, bro. Whatever. I mean, I grew up. My family growing up, preacher's kid, all of that stuff. Like, we express feelings, good, bad, ugly. Like, PK's in the building. Like, we express those feelings. But if I can send it in the chat now, like, all right, fellas, love you, miss you, whatever, and it's cool. But you have the way we were brought up, that wasn't okay. Like, if I said that to some like newly developed friends, even if they're good friends, like, hey man, love you, bro. Like, huh? Or hey man, miss you, just want to catch up. Like, what? Like, no, man, not like that. Like, not like
that's
but
right.
like that's the part of the community and the brotherhood or the accountability or whatever that we need is like, I'm not scared to be like, hey man, Eric, love you, bro. Like, I want Eric to know we ain't even met before. And that's not a new world for me, because in my social media world, it's like everybody knows you because they like something or whatever. So people that are watching are like, I know Josh, we friends on Facebook. I follow him on TikTok, whatever. No, we ain't friends. But when I meet you, like, I want Eric to be like, hey bro, like, hey man, thanks. Or hey, I meet him. It's like we've known each other forever. Yeah. That's the importance of men, because we take things, it's very literal for us. Like, Eric, I got you. When I say I got you, I got you. What's the saying? I think I did on a video one time. It's like, if I say I got your back, that means you don't need to turn around and see if I'm there. I always got your back. Like, I got it all the time. Don't ever question the fact that I'm not there. You don't even need to turn around because I'm there. That's what men need. And that's what I hope this becomes, obviously, for the 6 of us. But as Matt said, as it ripples out for Doc's friends and Matt's friends and my friends, everybody's friends all the way out, like, we can change some things, and we all on the same page to do that. So
we might have to create the Georgia subgroup and the Ohio State subgroup, and y'all might.
Because here's the thing, like, it's gonna happen, and I'm gonna be there when it does. I'm going.
Yeah. All right. Hey, we're gonna roll into the way we do the segments, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and transition us to the next segment, if y'all don't mind. And did anybody read the notes I put out?
No.
We're men.
Yeah,
we're men, Matt. You got to recap.
We're men. Well,
I thought that was an instruction manual.
That's the most preparation I've ever put into anything. But I was gonna what I put on there is a question that is written on there, but I'm gonna switch it up. I was hoping y'all read it, but I'm really gonna come in with the other right hook here on you. And so I was watching this thing the other day, and somebody was on a podcast, and this person was getting, they were talking about marriage and family, and that was the topic of it. And this man, the guy who was leading the podcast, asked this question, and I want to ask y'all this question. So it's maybe not what you're thinking about, right? Are your kids and your wife happy in their life? Answer that for.
That ain't the question you're supposed to ask us, Matt.
Yeah, who's going first on this one?
That's another one of them shotgun questions right there.
I think I'll take that. I think all things equal, if we're meshing wife with work, family, organization, things of that nature, I would say yes. I would say even when I think about work, family, and we mesh those things together, I would say yes. I think about the boys, grades, how they adapt to the things that they're doing in school. They're gregarious. I went to a party today for one of them, and just one little girl, he had to leave to go to the doctor, and she said, I blew a balloon for you. I want you to take it with you. And I was like, ooh, but that was nice.
Do not touch that balloon.
I'll buy you a balloon, babe. So I think all things relative, yes. Are there those moments where there's pressure? We'll dive very deep into this eventually, but you guys know, my wife is a breast cancer survivor. Are there days she thinks about that? Are there days that she wonders if the cancer will return? I'm sure that there are days where that happiness is fleeting because life be lifing. But all things considered, I think yes, I think that they are happy. I think a part of that is because we are indebted to our Savior, and so we know that there's a price to be paid for following Christ, and that price is not always everything's easy. There are things that feels like burdens you have to bear or carry, even though the burden bearer carries them for you. That still means that we got things that we have to go through. But again, all things equal, I think that if they were sitting in here now, they would say, yeah, we're happy. Now Thursday could throw a wrinkle in all of that, but right now I think we say yes.
Yeah.
Hey man, can I ask you a question about that? Is the better question, are they healthy? Are they emotionally healthy or mentally? Because happiness is so fleeting.
So happy is a circumstance, right?
Yeah, I don't know that my kids are not always. Yes, I was like no, like they're not always happy, And so, but
that's true. But if you go into it, I mean, the deeper question is, what role do you play in it? What role do you play in your family's happiness or health or stability and all that?
I think we take it all. I think we feel like we have to take it all and control it all, but we also, I think, do control it all. Our emotions are, because look, I've been there. I'll tell you right now, there's split household, right? My kids aren't here all the time. I'll tell you, I mean, my son comes here sometimes and I can tell, bruh, he ain't happy with me. He ain't happy with school. He ain't happy with, his mom, his sister, whoever. Same thing, I think. But the happiness, but how can we play that role is a great point to that. But yeah, I mean, I think we take all of that because we want everything to be perfect, or we want everything to right, and we massage it and move it around, whether it's spouse or girlfriend or fiance or kids or church or work or whatever. That's just in our nature. And sometimes that's it's almost like you can squeeze it too hard, and and I think that's where the unhappiness or how we, it's a control thing. We're all control freaks to a certain level.
What I thought was interesting, and I'll tell you this, and then we'll go to somebody else, is that when that person asked that question on that podcast, the man asked the woman on that podcast, what she thought was coming is, are you happy?
Are you happy and healthy?
Are you happy in your relationship?
Right.
What he asked her is your husband happy in the relationship? And she just sat there. And she said, well, I don't know how to. She said, that wasn't the question I was expecting. And she said, well, is your husband happy? And she goes, well, I don't know how to answer that. And he said, well, I think you just gave us the answer.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So who's next?
I think happiness is a relative quantification there, because no relationship is perfect, right? It takes work. So I think that question is relative to, let's say, just space time, if you will, because it depends on when you ask.
Mhm.
You like
like when they sleeping.
Oh,
you're happy.
No way.
Yeah, I'm happy.
I'll be perfectly honest. My wife and I got in an argument today. So if you have to ask me that question, no, right now she's not happy.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's relative,
Or,
I think.
Or for the kids too. It's like, did you just get something at the store?
Yeah.
Was it just your birthday? Was it just Jesus' birthday? And you're like, yeah, my dad's the greatest thing ever. And tomorrow I'm like, nah, we're not gonna get that. I'm like, I hate you. I'm out of here. I'm good. I'm like,
well,
I know what you're saying, Matt. Like, deeper than that.
This is a deeper question, this is a deeper question. It's
consent,
like
happiness, feeling safe, feeling secure.
Are you setting the tone? Let me tell you. My wife being a nurse, I mean, there's a lot of kids. We just said at the beginning, at the top of the show, 1 out of every 4 kids is not wanted, does not have a father. So are you setting the tone? Are you setting are you a positive role model And are you setting the conditions for your family or your marriage, if you're married, or for your kids on a daily basis? That's really what we're talking about.
I think that's a totally different question.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I mean, yeah, but that's what we're talking about. That's what we're getting into. Yeah. Y'all are men. So y'all, like where that lady went deep on it, you men, y'all took it at the surface level.
So we should have read the notes.
You're happy.
Wait.
Okay,
If you would have asked a question,
man, I'm proud of you, dog. You thought
Hey
that.
man, I did, but I also agree with everybody as far as Happy's relatives. I mean, yesterday the boys were supposed to get Panera, and wifey had an extra meeting that she had to attend to. She texted and said, "Hey babe, can you cover dinner tonight? I got to go to another meeting." I tell the boys, "Hey boys, mom's not bringing Panera." What do you mean? She's the worst person in the world.
He works.
So
He
that's
works all the time.
so that's fleeting. Yeah. So that's not a good example of happiness. That's just how they were hungry.
right?
Yeah, you can tell Eric live in the suburbs, right? You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
My kid is happy. We just get a cheeseburger. We get cheese on this today. We get a cheeseburger. Hey,
Get back
but
in those house burgers.
on a serious note, I want to kind of answer that question. And so, like, are your folks happy? Well, let me back up. To Anthony's point, I figured he was going to go there because our old pastor, Al Gilbert, he used to always talk about this: happy versus joyful, like, and the difference between those two. But we won't digress there.
Yeah.
But for my situation, I would say no. Like, Eric is like the Black Walton, so it's a little different than him. He's like the closest thing we got to Bill Huxtable. These type of
Dude, I was hoping you were gonna say the Cosby's, man. You can't use the
You can't
use the Cosby no more. Push back on that, man. No.
Could have gone to like anything other than Mr. Huxtable.
So it goes back to my previous point that I was talking about. Like, I think a lot of times when I would come through the door, like, I was so, like, it's been so entrenched in me to, like, all right, you got a problem? 30 seconds less, I'm gonna solve this problem. And we gonna check that thing and we moving on to the next situation. And for dads, it's so important that we slow ourselves down and that we ask questions. Like tonight, my child told me, she was like, "Hey Dad, I'm moving to Morehead City this summer and gonna work at the country club." Well, you doing what? Like, where you gonna live at? Oh, I'm gonna live at this friend who's friends of another friend. Baby. Let's back all the way up. Like, that's where I wanted to go, right? Like, that's where I wanted to go with the situation. But now that I've got a little education in me, I've learned that I need to ask a couple follow-up questions and be like, okay, well, what about this? What other options have you considered? Like, what's going to be the benefit? Like, what's your ultimate end result? And so, like, I try not to dictate, oh, hells no, you're not going to do that. You're going to do this, right? So I try to back the train up and just ask follow-up questions. And I want to just be present. Because one thing that I do know now is, like, this chick is older than 18, so you can't decide which chick I'm talking about. But she's 18. She's over 18, so she can do what she want to do, right? Like, she's an adult, and so I'm trying to move our relationship from a dad to child to adult, and it's tough. And again, I think that's why we need a circle of men who we can speak to and like, hey, Devo, like, bruh, your approach was horrible. Your approach was horrible. You need to back up. You probably need to go back and apologize and rehash that whole scenario all over again. Because what we have to do is we have to try to build a way that we can understand where our kids are in that particular moment. Like, if we want to be a professional dad, we have to ask more questions than we give answers. My wife would tell me all the time, again, like, I'm
80,
always
20, baby.
Say again.
80-20.
Oh, 80-20. Yeah. So I'm always, she's telling me, like, shut up. Like, don't solve it. Just listen. Just hear me. Just be present in the conversation.
Right.
And so it's taken me 18 years to learn that, but I think I'm finally getting it. So I'm reformed now. And so yeah, I think that's just a great place to be.
Devo, let me ask you a question. And this is for anyone else with daughters. Do you think it's different with daughters than it would that conversation if it was a son? Because I'm wanting to know what to expect 5-10 years from now.
100%.
Yep.
Billion%.
So
Billion%.
Yeah.
I didn't listen to my dad when I should have listened to my dad. So my daughter's older. She's 19. My son's 14. I have a younger sister. She's 6 years younger than me. I should have listened to my dad when my daughter was younger and my son was coming up. My dad said, you can say the same thing to her that you say to him. You just have to approach it differently. You have to word it differently. You have to do it differently. You can't. Women are sensitive. She's a little girl. I didn't do a good job of that at all. Like I just didn't. I'll give you that. And it's the same thing with my mom or with my sister. I can say something to my brother. I can say it to my sister. My sister's ready to throw something at me. My brother's like dapping me up, like that's what's up. It is different. There's a video one time I did. It was like the dad talking to the daughter and dad talking to the son. It was like, you going where? With who? Really? And then the dad was like, let's go. Like it's just different. And I honestly, like, real talk, like I wish I would have listened to my dad and realized that the punishment or the talks or the sensitivity or the voice, I wish I had listened to that a long time ago, because things would be totally different.
I would totally agree with that. Totally agree with that. Yeah. I know the 18-year-old Devon, you know what I'm saying, in the Navy, getting ready, but on college, was all conference wrestler in high school. Like all that. Like it's totally different.
If I do say so myself.
I'm just going to go ahead and address the elephant in the room. I mean, we're hitting all around it. We're like bracketing mortar fire, you know. So I'm just going to go for a fire for effect mission here. The elephant in the room is that we are just different than women, and so there's a conversation gap there. They like to talk around in circles, and we're like, "Hey, man, get to the point. I can't. I'm not smart enough to figure out what you're trying to tell me."
Let's go.
So
I
there's
always tell my mom, I'm like, land the plane, mom, land the plane. Like,
yeah, it's
she's
very
like, just let me tell the story, and her husband's over in the background, like, I'm like, just stop talking around it, like. And you said it earlier too, like it's almost like a checkbox. Like I need to solve it in 30 seconds. I've heard it from people in my life, women in my life over the last or whatever. Like, bro, just shut up.
Yeah, just shut up.
Yeah. Thanks, Josh. You made me completely lose my train of thought there.
Sorry.
Appreciate it. Now I'm gonna have to wake up at 2 a.m. and text every one of you because I got to get that thought out when I finally remember it.
I got that DND on my phone, Andy, so you can send it, but it'll be in the morning before you get a response.
Well, that's okay.
Mine's going on silent now.
I'm a patient man.
Yeah, but you're right. Yeah, communication
right,
is key.
Doc.
Communication is key, and listening, learning how to listen. Again.
Oh, there it is. That's why it's important for us to have a men's group. Shush. We got to have our men's group. That's why, because the communication, we understand each other. We're going to tell each other in a way that we understand, and we don't have to guess about it. In other words, hey, you're being stupid. Don't ever say that again. Oh, okay, thanks. Instead of getting the silent treatment for a week.
Yeah. Very true.
Or given the silent treatment.
Well, I can't.
Because we don't understand.
Oh, really?
Listen, we're gonna talk both sides of the coin. We do that stuff too.
Yeah.
At least I do.
We're gonna we'll do a show like on communication, right? And I got some big thoughts on communication. And Josh has heard them all and his things that he's gone through and just in life, right? Yeah, communication's hard. Learning how to listen is hard. We want to fix. We're fixers, right? So we got to learn to sit back and listen. My wife will come home from work and she'll just say, "Will you just listen? Will you just listen? Just sit there and listen." And I just want to talk and talk and talk, and I just sit there and listen, bite my tongue,
Yeah.
What's great about hearing aids? Just turn them down. I'll listen to you all day, honey.
Yeah. All right.
I'm talking to you. I've been talking to you for 10 minutes. Why are you vacuuming the floor? Huh?
Yeah.
I got you.
Yes, dear. Yes,
So
dear. Oh, wow.
one of the sections we're going to do on this show is, I called it. We might change the name. I don't know. It's the School of Hard Knocks, right? So whoever's leading the show every week, everybody different is going to lead the show. This week, so the first one, it just happened to be mine. I'm leading this one. Next week, it's going to be somebody different. We'll see who it is.
You'll find out during the show.
Yeah, you'll find out when
you'll find out 47 minutes in that you were supposed to leave the show or you were leading the show.
Right. At least halfway over.
This person is going to come up with and talk about a story, something that's happened in their life that meant a lot. And so School of Hard Knocks, it might be the University of Real Life. And this is what this story that I'm about to tell y'all is, and has to do with my father. My father still means a lot to me. And, some of my most important conversations I had with him. I would turn to him, in a time when I wasn't quite sure as a man, and I would ask him questions, and he always came with advice. And I take a lot with my kids today. I take a lot of what he talked about, and I roll that over into how I have raised my kids. And I'm going to go with Matthew 7:12, right? So, and what is that? That's the golden rule. Do unto others as you had them do unto you. And my dad preached that to me. My dad preached that to me and my brothers, is you treat people the way you want to be treated. But he would always take it a step further, and he would say, you don't just treat people how you want to be treated. You treat people how they need to be treated, because we all have different needs. But I want to tell you a quick story. And you may notice something about this show, right? And I don't know why Doc set it up. We got the white guys on one side, and black guys on the other.
Don't say it. Don't say it.
Didn't even see it.
Hey, it's a story of a lovely lady.
All right. But I want to tell you a story about what happened. I grew up, and I was a football player. I played football through high school, and I played baseball, through high school and college and all that. But we used to have two-a-days, right? And there was this one year, I was a junior, and we were having two-a-days, and we lived in these townhouses. Is where we lived, and we hadn't been in there that long, but it was in Raleigh, North Carolina. We lived in these townhouses. Unfortunately, there's a bunch of Northerners that had moved into our. So if you're Northern to watch, I apologize. That's how I feel about them. Southern guy. So at the time. It was two-a-days. My parents were on a trip. They were on a trip down in Florida or somewhere. I think. Well, what did we do in 2 days? You practice in the morning, you practice, you have a break, and you practice at night. So all the boys from the team came over and spent the night at my house. Right? We didn't do anything wrong.
I'm glad you laughed, because I was thinking it.
We played video games. We ordered pizza. I mean, we were tired. We worked pretty hard. So there was nothing like nefarious going on. There was no. I kid you not. You can say that, but there was not. There was no.
Everybody in the chat, if you believe what the heck Matt's saying.
Was this high school again?
Yeah, this high. We really didn't do it the whole time, because I mean we were having to be at practice at like 7:00, 7:30. So here's the deal. I went out to the mailbox about 2 weeks after that, and I opened a letter that came in the mailbox, and my dad was standing outside, and I read it. And that piece of mail, this is in the mid 80s, mid 86, 87, 88 timeframe. And that letter said, we don't want people like that in our neighborhood. Whatever that meant. I want you to think about that. That's what I opened and I read. And I handed that letter to my dad. My dad didn't say a word. He said, I'll be right back. He got in his car. He drove up the road. He came back. He opened the car door. He had a for sale sign by owner, and he put it in the front yard. Wow. And he looked at me and he said, we are all children of God, and we will not live in a neighborhood where everybody is not respected and welcome. And that house sold in 1 hour, and we were out of there. And that's how I was raised. And I know that Devo and I know Doc will mention this, and then everybody else who plays sports. There's no such thing as color. when you're in the military.
Nope.
There's no such thing as color when you're in sports. There shouldn't be. And that's how I was raised. And I bring that up because that is my true belief. That is why this show is so beautiful, because on this show, we're all men. On this show, we're all brothers. And that's how I was raised. And that's my dad. That lesson sticks with me so much because, I mean, he came back and said, nope, we're out. We're selling this house. And that's what we did. Sold the house. 1 hour. That thing was, somebody pulled up 10 minutes after he put that sign. It says, your house for sale? He said, yep. House wasn't clean or nothing. He walked somebody in there, showed them the house. Within an hour, they made the offer. We were gone.
You think it was the person that sent you the letter?
They were probably like,
No.
That
But-
worked.
Yeah. We got him out of here.
People.
You know, that to me was a big life lesson for me.
Yeah.
It taught me tremendous amount about who I should be, but who my father was too.
Yeah.
And that was big. So I open it up. You know, what are y'all's thoughts on that? You know, we have an opportunity here.
Well, we have a huge opportunity, regardless of our color, regardless of our age, regardless of our economic background, regardless of what state we're in, regardless of any of that stuff. I think we have a huge opportunity to talk through mistakes that we made, listen to them of somebody else. And like, you know, Eric has younger kids. Matt's got older kids. Deep's got older kids. Mine are kind of up in that. Like, we have an opportunity to go, hey, do things that like I didn't do them. Do as I say, not as I did, because this is what could happen. And I think that's what's missing from Doc said, or somebody said at the beginning of, we may not all agree or disagree. Like, Josh, yeah, you shouldn't have done it like that. I'm not going to end the podcast. I'm not going to unfriend, defriend, not respond. That's just not how men operate. And it's not how good Christian men and brothers operate. It's like, hey, man, I appreciate that. I know where it's coming from. But I wish I'd have learned that lesson, Matt. And we can go into that on my story of like, and Matt and I are the same thing. And Doc too, like, you know, I don't see race. Like, I just don't. Like, we're friends. We're all people. We're all children. We're all those things. But, you know, you'd be surprised if, like, you know, I still like Eric, even though he likes Georgia. But there are people in this world that use politics, race, religion, sports teams, any of those things to be like, I ain't friends. I could have got on here. I ain't even like Eric no more. I could text Matt, like, I'm out. Eric got the Georgia dog in there. I don't like him. But that shows how petty and small-minded people are, that you can use a sports team or the color of our skin or our political party. Or what, like, that's that. Yeah, I'll leave it at that.
I'm here to tell you, I've done cadaver labs, right? I've worked, obviously, being in the medical field. I got news for everybody. Guess what? It's breaking. You ready? Sit down. You ready? We're all the same on the inside.
I'd start singing that Mandisa song, but I can't do it. My voice is. Who else?
Now, Matt, just thank you for sharing that, because that is that's pretty big, pretty bold, because there's more than just the racial lesson. We don't tolerate that. There's this thing about how big your dad appeared to you to make a big bold move like that. And I'm sure the imprint that may have had on siblings to know, man, Dad is a tough guy. This was big, this was bold, but it also perhaps set the wheels in motion on how you would have to make big, bold decisions for your children, or things that would stand out.
Eric, you're right. That's the purpose. And I want everybody to go forward. And when you come with a story, come with a story, because this story, I'm 52 now, right? I'm old as hell. Yeah. I'm not as old as you, Big Daddy.
Shut up.
But the point is that's one of my most impactful stories from my dad, you know, because
we all gonna have to come correct after that one, y'all. Y'all know that.
That's right.
Like, we're gonna have to dig deep for stories like that.
Thanks, Matt.
Right. Could somebody else have gone first?
Yeah.
That means I got to make something up now.
Right.
Anthony, Devo, what you got?
Yeah, that's huge.
Go ahead, Ant.
Well, I was just going to say is like the title of the podcast is The Professional Dad, because we're working on our craft, right? The whole goal here is to improve our community, our families and everything. So And that does not happen without the dad in the home. Right. So, you know, and Matt, your story is just a great picture of the impact that if it's not a dad, just a man can have in someone's life. And coaches are great for that. Right.
Yep.
And so, you know, man, I appreciate the story.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, it certainly is impactful to hear that from you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my take is I'm gonna push back on that a little bit and disagree. I'm married to a white lady, so every day I wake up, I see color or colorless or colorful, whatever the case may be. And so that's just my story and my take. But no, I think that's so deep, Matt. Like I'm sitting here thinking about that, and I shared a meme or a reel, I think with Anthony, maybe Eric, I'm not sure, but I know I definitely shared it with Anthony, and it was you know which one I'm talking about? It was I want to say Samuel Jackson, but it wasn't Samuel. Denzel Washington, where he's like, here's 7 questions you need to ask your dad, or you need to ask
That's it.
your
Yep.
parent. And so, like, I think about that story that Matt just shared, and I think about me, and I kind of like take it as a challenge. Like, what have I done that's going to leave such an impression on my children where they're still telling that story 40 years later, 4 decades later, they're still telling that story. And so I don't know if I've done anything so substantial as of this episode. Maybe next episode I'll jump in there, right? But to think about this, and the older I get, I think about every day we have the ability. Every day we have the ability to make someone's day or crush someone's day. And it's totally up to us which side of the coin we decide to take. You know, every day I have the opportunity to speak life into my kids. Do I want to come home and be the principal, or do I want to ask questions where I can follow up and show them that I care? You know, that I care, that I want to be invested, that I want the best for them. Granted, I'm probably always going to share my opinion just because that's just who I am. But the way you couch it is imperative. The way that you unpack that, the way that you deliver your delivery. Oh my gosh.
It's all delivery.
If I could give $1 for each time my wife has told me your delivery is piss poor, you know, I'll be a rich man. But I think that's the key. That is the absolute key. And I challenge you. I challenge all 6 of you, or all 5 of you, excuse me. Well, 6, including myself, and then anyone else who may be listening to this. What message, what story are you intentionally leaving for your kids? When I think about like selling my house, my house, like it ain't a boat, it ain't a motorcycle that I'm gonna put on Craigslist. You know, it's a house. It's your home. And then to be willing to pack all that up and vacate because something doesn't align with your values. Woo!
Yeah, that's right.
When you break that down and really feel the value of that and see exactly what that means, that just gives me chills as a dad and know that I really have to step up my game. And I really have to be more intentional about what I do, what I say, how I live my life, how I walk my life with my kids and with my wife.
Well, I'll tell you what it means to me as we wrap up, you know, is that what I always, from that story and from, you know, Matthew 7:12, I always tell my kids, you always have the opportunity to be the bigger person. You never know what somebody is going through. And especially as a parent in this current time, these kids are mean. These kids are not nice to each other. And you have the chance to always take the high road, to always, you know, you can go down and you can get low and you can engage with some of the stuff that everybody's doing and you can fight back. And there is a time to fight back. That there is true. There is a time to fight back. but you can always take the high road and make somebody feel better about themselves, and you can elevate them and who they think they are. And I tell my kids, I'm like, you need to treat people the way that they want to be treated. And if they do something, if it would hurt your feelings, you have no right to ever do it to anybody. Because if it would hurt your feelings, who are you to do something to somebody that's going to hurt their feelings? And if it's making you feel bad, it's going to make them feel bad. So you have no right to complain if somebody hurts your feelings, but you do something that would hurt their feelings. And so that came from that story to me. You know, my dad really taught me a lot. And that wasn't the only time he talked about, you know, that verse. And he really preached it to us. But that's what it's all about. You know, we treat people the way we want to be treated. But even bigger, we treat people that they want to be treated. And if you got to surround yourself with people, like-minded people who have the same values as you. And if they don't have the same values as you, if they're putting people down and treating people bad, that's not your people. Go find your people. We have an opportunity, gentlemen, to build that community right here. And that's 100%. What we're going to do. That's what we're going to do. And we're going to build a community where everybody's welcome, you know, because we're going to lift each other up.
So what you're saying is we're going to build a community. It's going to be amazing. Maybe, possibly even the best community ever.
It's going to be huge.
It's
going to be huge.
Huge.
We've got 3 blacks on the call. We're starting well.
I thought we signed an agreement to leave politics out of this.
Yeah.
I'm just talking about comedians. That dude's hilarious.
Yeah. All right, here we go. We're going to wrap it up. What we have, we'll be back. I think it's January the 8th. Okay, so we're going to come back January the 8th. Everybody have a Merry Christmas. Yeah. When we come back, it won't just be about this show. We will have a community built inside of Convene that is the professional dad podcast group. It's going to be a community in there. We're going to start inviting people to come in there. We'll all be contributing. If you want to be part of the show, you know, let us know. We love it. This is great. I'm so glad, like Josh said, that, you know, we came together with this group of men and others that'll come and be a part of it. Yeah. It's exciting. So I appreciate each and every one of you, you know.
And we're going to challenge our other brothers to a basketball game, too, after the first of the year.
Yeah.
Let's go.
That's it.
I'll be the water boy.
Yeah.
My biggest issue is going to be is choosing which pair of shoes I'm wearing.
That's yeah. I got a shoe problem now that I'm friends with Josh. My wife was like, well, first she saw those Jordans and she was like, why is Josh getting those? He's not a Tar Heel. And I was like, well, come on, Jordans and all that. And I said, oh, by the way, I ordered a pair too. And she's like, do not let him influence you.
Matt's done bought 46 pairs of shoes in the last 90 days. And he's blaming it on me.
It's cool, man. I mean, women love shoes. It's all good.
That's it.
Listen, if there's a woman that comes in here, she is not getting any of my little plastic boxes. Those are from my J's. They're from my shoes. But don't even bring your stuff over here. My kids don't get them. You don't get them. Jesus don't get them. Nobody gets those boxes. That's from my shoes.
Oh boy.
That's it.
We could have went so many places with that.
Right?
I know. I stopped, Eric. I stopped on that one.
Well, on that note,
I watched the eye.
All right, gentlemen. That's it. Appreciate y'all. Love you all. Can't wait till we do it again. That was fun.
Yes, sir. Happy Hanukkah. Merry Christmas. All the above.
That's right.
Bye.
Take us out.
all right, everybody. We will see y'all on the 8th. Peace.